Hey, good morning everybody. Alright, so we got some more parts that were back ordered. They finally showed up. What you're looking at is the rocker panel molding as well as the end caps. And then we've got the mounting hardware over here. So we're going to go ahead and try to get that stuff put on today. Something I did want to mention, I will usually put like some type of a wax or something on the chrome trim stuff prior to installing it. With the coating on there, I'm sure most of you have realized if you have any chrome work, it tends to get water spots, things like that. So if you put the wax on, at least what I've noticed, right before you actually install it, kind of helps to prevent water spots in the future. I mean, obviously it doesn't last forever and you have to go back over it, but again, just something that I kind of do, try to put it on there right away. And it does seem to help. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do that, wipe this stuff down with some of the wax I got here, the liquid wax, and then I'll go ahead and come back with you and we'll go ahead and start putting the little mounting hardware on and get these things mounted up. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so we got some little marks here. There were some holes left over from before. I never filled them when I was doing the body work. Put a little black dot right there, come down over here. Got another black dot right here, and third one right there. I had put one up here, but I was actually off, so after I rechecked everything, it's going to be right there is where it's going to have to be. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and drill these holes out. We've got these little clips here. That's what's going to hold that molding on, or help hold it on, and came with some self-tapping screws here. So let me get these holes drilled out and I'll get the little clips on and I'll come back with you in just a bit. Alright, so we got the little clips put on. I actually wound up finding another one, so I went and put 4. Alright, so I'm just going to get the molding strip here, set that on, see what it looks like. Should be okay. It's got the little tabs underneath here, which actually go underneath. Where's one of the holes? I don't know if you can see it, but right there is one of the factory holes, which I hadn't even realized they were there until I was trying to test fit this molding on. So that will be helpful, at least. That'll give a little extra support. Not to mention, I think it's going to help me kind of locate it on the car itself as far as how far back does it come, or forward, or whatever the case may be. Because I laid it up there and it doesn't actually go all the way to the front here, nor does it go all the way to the back down here. So there's got to be some type of, on either side, some type of measurement. So having those holes underneath, that will help me a lot. Alright, let me get this thing on and I'll come back with you in just a bit. Alright, so we ran into our first problem. This is the end cap here that's going to go on right here to cover up that little space, and something kind of like that. As you can see, there's a gap. If you look down in here, you can see that there's a slot there, which is where that is supposed to sit, so everything looks nice and flush. But as you can see, we've got quite the gap there. So what I'm going to have to do is take this molding back off, and then this little channel here I'm going to have to elongate, and it looks like I'm going to have to measure it, but I would say that's probably at least close to 1 inch. So I'll have to elongate this slot a little bit more, that way this can actually slide in the way it's meant to, and otherwise we're going to wind up with something crazy going on there like that, as opposed to something more flush. So anyways, I'm going to pull this molding back off and see what I can do as far as opening up that slot with the grinder or whatever it may be. Alright, we'll talk to you in a bit. Alright, so we got that little slit cut out a little bit farther, and it looks like with our cap there it should fit in, and then of course there's the bolt underneath, or the screw. So once we get that in, it looks like it should pull down nicely. Had to do the same thing on the front. Same situation, had to notch that little channel, and there's a bolt underneath here, a screw, as well as here. So I think once I get those two pulled in as well, that should work out nicely. So let me go ahead and finish up those last couple of holes, and I'll come back with you and show you what it looks like. Alright, so we got that rear cap on. Looks pretty good. Wheel well molding will tuck down in here, so that's what's going to go in there. That's why we've got the gap there. I'm not going to do those today. I'm going to do those some other time. But anyway, so we got the front as well. Do lack a hole here and a screw. I just don't have a screw that's going to have a flat head on it to kind of countersink down in there, so I'm going to hold off on that. But looks like that's pretty much it for today. So all in all, I'm pretty happy. It turned out good. Did run into a problem or two, but you know, that's kind of the norm. So anyways, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.